What if I told you that the greatest treasure in life has been hidden inside you all along? There was once a seeker, an ordinary soul, who walked through life with the same burdens and questions that haunt so many hearts. Day after day, they worked, struggled, celebrated small victories, and endured deep disappointments. They achieved things others admired, yet every triumph felt strangely hollow, as if life itself were teasing them with glimpses of meaning, but never revealing the full picture. At night, when the noise of the world faded and the seeker was left alone with their thoughts, an emptiness remained, whispering in the dark corners of the mind. Is this all there is? Is this what existence is meant to be? One quiet evening, after yet another day of chasing goals that brought no lasting peace, the seeker sat beneath the endless sky. Stars stretched across the heavens like diamonds on black velvet, and in that stillness, something stirred within. A thought arose, faint but undeniable. There must be more. Life cannot only be about survival, struggle, and fleeting joy. There must be a deeper power, something infinite, something real. That single thought was the spark, and the journey began. At first, the seeker searched outward. They devoured books, followed teachers, joined groups, and clung to philosophies. Each new idea felt promising for a time, yet soon dissolved into frustration. Knowledge piled up, but wisdom remained distant. Answers slipped through their fingers like sand. The more the seeker chased, the further away the truth seemed to drift. And then, in the silence of exhaustion, when the restless mind had finally given up, a whisper arose within, softer than a breath but powerful enough to shake the heart. You search everywhere but within. The kingdom you seek is already inside you. The seeker froze. Could it be true? Could the infinite really reside in this fragile, ordinary life? Doubt flooded in. The mind scoffed, insisting, impossible. You are just human. You are small. You are powerless. But somewhere deeper, beyond the noise, the whisper remained steady and calm, like a flame that refused to be extinguished. The next morning, instead of rushing into the day, the seeker tried something different. They sat in silence, breathing slowly, turning their attention inward. At first, only restlessness appeared. The mind rebelled with thoughts. This is foolish. You're wasting time. You will never find what you're looking for. But day after day, the seeker returned to that silence, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, something began to change. Beneath the noise, beneath the layers of fear, doubt, and endless thought, there was a presence. It was not the body, not the mind. It was the essence, calm, radiant, unshakable. The seeker touched it for the first time and realized it was spirit, the eternal spark that had been there all along, waiting to be noticed. This was the awakening. For the first time, the seeker felt a connection to something vast, infinite, and unconquerable. But awakening is not the same as transformation. Life continued to test them. Challenges came. Loss returned. Betrayals and disappointments shook their resolve. Old fears crept back whispering, "You are weak. You are alone." Yet each time the seeker remembered the flame within. Each time they chose to believe, even when circumstances screamed otherwise. And with every act of faith, the flame grew brighter. They discovered a profound truth. When they believed themselves weak, life mirrored weakness. When they believed themselves capable, strength emerged. When they believed themselves one with the infinite, doors opened where before there had only been walls. It was as though the universe itself responded to the song of their inner thought. One day, the seeker stood by a river, watching the waters flow endlessly, never separate from their source. A drop could never be cut off from the river. It was always the river itself, always connected. And suddenly the seeker understood. Humanity was the same. The feeling of separation from the divine was nothing but an illusion of the mind. In reality, no one had ever been cut off. Spirit lived within, as us, always. The seeker whispered aloud, I am not a wanderer lost in the desert. I am part of the infinite ocean of life itself. And in that moment, the chains of weakness and despair shattered. From then on, life was never the same. No longer begging existence for scraps of power, the seeker walked with quiet confidence, knowing they carried infinite strength within. When new tasks arose, they no longer thought, "This is too difficult." Instead, they declared, "The infinite lives in me. There is nothing I cannot face." When fear tried to paralyze them, they answered, "Fear is a shadow, and the light of spirit dissolves shadows." When doubt whispered, "You are not enough," they replied, "I am one with the source of all. Nothing can separate me." People began to notice. Where once the seeker had radiated anxiety and uncertainty, now there was calm, clarity, and power. Obstacles that once seemed immovable began to yield. Opportunities appeared, not by chance but as reflections of their inner belief. The seeker had discovered the secret. Life responds to the vibration of thought, and thought aligned with spirit unlocks limitless power. And yet, the greatest revelation was not personal triumph, but a universal truth. This treasure did not belong to the seeker alone. Every person carried the same spark, the same hidden treasure, the same infinite power waiting to be uncovered. Some misused glimpses of it, chasing control or domination. Others ignored it completely, burying it beneath fear and doubt. Yet no one was truly cut off, no matter how lost they felt. For just as the sun shines on all, the infinite lies within all. The seeker Eats journey was never about becoming special. It was about remembering what had always been true. Humanity is not separate from the divine, and never has been. Years later, the seeker returned to that same star-filled sky where the journey had begun. But now, instead of looking upward for answers, they smiled, knowing that the vastness of the stars was only a reflection of the vastness within. They understood now what they had not known then, that man is spirit, not flesh, that the divine spark is not a myth but the very essence of life, that weakness is only a shadow cast by forgetfulness, and power is the natural state of remembrance. They whispered once more, but this time with certainty, "I am one with the infinite. I always have been, I always will be." And in that moment, the journey was no longer a desperate search but a homecoming, a return to the truth that had been waiting all along. And now, dear listener, the story belongs to you. For you, too, carry this infinite life and power. It is not something to be earned, nor something distant to be chased. It is already yours, waiting silently within. The only barrier is belief, the illusion that you are small, separate, or powerless. The moment you remember your oneness with the Source, the moment you choose to believe, the doors of power swing wide open. So the question is not whether infinite life exists within you. The question is, when will you finally choose to awaken to it?